for your testimony. Dr. Owolewa.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much, Council Member, for putting this together. And I want to thank my friends on this panel and in the audience for standing up for our communities, especially those in the Latino community who are simply being illegally targeted because of what they look like. I'm Dr. Owolewa, but today I'm coming to you as a child of immigrants who's fed up with ICE destroying our communities, intimidating our leadership, doing nothing about it. In the beginning of this year, I was voluntold to do an immigrant townhouse in a Czech, Columbia Heights Education Campus. And I grabbed all my friends who are immigration attorneys and immigration agencies to put together panels. And one thing I realized was immigration legal services were important. I hoped that this event was going to inspire members of the council and the mayor's office to continue that work, and that didn't happen. I want to thank all the agencies, the ANC commissioners who stepped up to do something about it. This year has been tough. We're seeing ICE agents who are just masked thugs grabbing people based off what they look like. We're seeing women being grabbed away from their children. We're seeing door dashers being snatched off the streets. And our government isn't doing much about it. Even worse, the continued effort to strip away our DC sanctuary status not only betrays those in the Latino community, but also betrays our values. DC has long been a safe haven for folks leaving slavery, folks want a good life, and the actions we're doing right now betrays that history. Even worse, we're talking about MPD recruitment. Earlier this year, I went to a town hall with Karen Gall from 3CAC and I actually spoke to an MPD officer about the idea of working with ICE. This was in April. And although she looked white, she actually had a Mexican dad. She had a Hispanic background. And she was very uncomfortable with grabbing people, working with ICE. And just 4 months later, she's directed to do just that. And at a time we're talking about recruiting officers and throwing more money into the system, stripping OUC of its funding, we can actually look into reworking our values and making sure people are comfortable in the work they're doing. All in all, I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of seeing undocumented immigrants, non-citizen residents getting grabbed and snatched up and their leadership doing nothing about it. If you look at our situation in DC and you take away the undocumented immigrants and say immigrants, Black people, Black teens, working class people and whatnot, we have the same disregard. Who are we as DC residents? Who are we as a city? Who do we fight for and who are we fighting? There's been no pushback against this White House all year. And I go around this country talking about DC statehood, democracy, and we don't even know what we're fighting for in this city. I went from thinking about congressional oppression and federal intervention all across this country, but a lot of our problems are here. We not only need to make more funding for legal resources, for non-cost legal assistance, we also got to fund Health Alliance to make sure the undocumented have health insurance. We have to make sure young people aren't afraid to go to school, that they're not worried where their parents are going to be. We have to include funding for mental services because these kids are going to school not worrying where their parents are going to be, worrying where their friends are going to be. And I want to thank all the people on this panel, whether it's Free DC, whether it's folks and beyond that have been fighting for this because they've been doing this without leadership. When we're knocking on doors, when we're marching the streets, we don't see enough council members. We don't see our mayor. We don't see those who are supposed to protect us against the White House. Instead, we're seeing them in the White House. That's not who we are. That's not our values. 10, 15, 20 years from now, they will be looking in these classrooms, they'll be looking at textbooks, and they're gonna be wondering what we did today. So I know the cost is high. I know in DC we're vulnerable, but if we don't fight when we're vulnerable, who's gonna do it for us? If we keep stripping pieces from ourselves each and every time, at the end of the day, what will we have left? I wanna thank you all for being here. I wanna thank you all for showing effort. I wanna thank you all for putting this together. because this is not even your committee, but you're stepping up. Please bring your colleagues with you and fight for us. We deserve it.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Dr. Ogola.